Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our long weekend service. Delighted that you're tuning in. Always good to have a little spiritual energy in our special long weekends, isn't it? And I was just sitting here. I'm sure the people on StreamYard were chuckling as I was dancing away as I just love that song. I release and I let go. So good morning. My name is Katie Grinham and I'm part of the spiritual leadership team here at Unity of Calgary. And that's our theme this month. Releasing and letting go is part of the theme. The actual theme is acceptance. I release resistance and experience acceptance. Wow, have we not all been practicing this? You can't be going through what we're going through in this all over the world and not be brushing up against acceptance. Yes, it's definitely called for. So, yeah. We're deepening that this month, and we have a list of wonderful speakers. So I hope that you plan to join us all month long as we have different speakers take on this theme of acceptance. So let's take a moment first to get centered, to just kind of tune in. So I invite you to close your eyes and to just sink down into your chair. Letting your feet sink down into Mother Earth. Kind of just let the busyness of the morning go. Breathing deeply in and out. And perhaps taking this time to set your intention for our time together. And maybe for your whole day. Breathing in and knowing that as the breath enters your body, so does the refreshing energy that created us. That we're bathed in love, we're bathed in light. And we can rest into that and accept the things we cannot change. And to have the courage to change the things that we can. And the wisdom to know the difference. This, of course, is the serenity prayer. And I can think of no better prayer for this time for us. We open our hearts and minds to whatever messages are for us today as we draw the strength, courage, and wisdom we need to be fully present in our lives. And so it is. And if it is your first time with us here, we're delighted that you've decided to take some time for your spiritual nurturing, to make it important, to rejuvenate yourself so that you can be present to your own life and to those that you love. So let's affirm together why we do gather here. We are here as love to celebrate the one power, the one presence in our lives, in this community, and in the universe. And if that resonates with you, perhaps this is just the right place to be spending your morning, or at least an hour with us. And I'd like to read now our Daily Word. The Daily Word is a publication that's been put out for, over 100 years by Worldwide Unity. And what's interesting is it's put out in, I think it's 9 languages now and sent around the world so that people were all focusing on the same day, on the same message, which creates great power. And our message this morning is, I am kind and compassionate. And it is based on the biblical quote from Philippines 2, verse 4. Let each of you look not to your own interests, but to the interests of others. And so this is the reading for today. Seeking to grow in compassion, I look to the example of Jesus. Gospel stories give examples of Jesus showing compassion by demonstrating keen awareness of the needs and the feelings of friends and strangers alike. I remember learning that Jesus did not turn away from social outcasts. He healed them and shared meals with them. His compassion fed multitudes and restored wine to wedding receptions to bring joy and peace to people. Upon learning that his dear friend had died, Jesus wept. Even his disciples, when his disciples deserted him and he was crucified, Jesus asked to forgive them, for God to forgive them. As I desire to grow in compassion, I know that my kind words and even simply my loving presence provide comfort. I listen deeply with my heart as well as with my ears. And you know that you can get the daily word on our website each and every day, of course, Daily Word. And if you scroll down on the homepage, you'll see it come up. And it's a great way to stay connected and centered to your own heart by affirming the daily word. So I invite you to put that part of your spiritual practice. And as many of you know, Unity of Calgary is part of a worldwide vision. And in this movement, we are all gathering to hold the same message, this message of love, of inclusion, of peace, of strength, of being a light in a world that can have challenging times. So let's affirm together our vision. We envision a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And how we do that at Unity of Calgary is through our specific vision, rather through our mission. And so our mission is, just wait for that to come up. Well, it may or may not come up. So I think this is pop quiz. Let's see if everybody remembers our mission. Oh, there it is. We are a welcoming, vibrant, spiritual community that inspires hearts and transforms lives by expressing our divine essence. And being a community means that we all work together. And this morning, I'm delighted to tell you that Ariana and Stefan Belgrave are at the controls for our StreamYard. And they've had a few training sessions with Neil and Tina. And so we're delighted that they're bringing their presence, their skill set to let us share our broadcast this morning. So let's send them a little love and light, because it can get kind of, you get a little anxious when you've got all that responsibility. And they're doing a beautiful job. And we know that Tina and Neil are enjoying a well-deserved rest out in nature. So blessings to them as well. Well, let's talk a little bit about what's happening at Unity Calgary. Let's have a look at our announcements. So you kind of know what's happening. And so the first thing is next week, our speaker is John Stringer. And many of you who have been in our community for a few years know John. He's come actually up to Calgary a couple of times and led us with his music and his workshops. And he's just going to be with us online this time, of course, because he can't cross the border. None of us can. And but we're delighted to have him and his music. So his topic is going to be the truth about you, typical versus spiritual. And so there'll be meditation, his original music. So it should be a very rich, full time. And it's a great opportunity to invite neighbors and friends to join us, as John is quite a presence. And we'll feel Spirit moving through him next week. And of course, after service today, we will have our Zoom chat. And yeah, if you haven't been on a Zoom chat before, please join us. You can, as you can see, you can go to the web page and get the link. All you have to do is push one button. It's super simple. You pop on, and then you can see and chat with people. And what we're doing is we're kind of discussing the speaker's topic and then giving a little update about ourselves. So it's a great feeling to be connected, and I hope you'll join us for that about 5 or 10 minutes after the service ends. Just a chance to take a little break, and then we'll be together. And speaking of being together, the following week after that, so in 2 weeks' time, on August 16th, we're going to gather at our new site at Willow Ridge. So we're going to be in the field behind the building at Willow Ridge. And so stay tuned to get all the details. They'll be coming out in the newsletter, but it's Willow Ridge Community Center. So if you're going to look it up, next week we'll have the address come up on the screen. And if you're not on our newsletter, this is a perfect example of when and why you should be on our newsletter, so that you get the details of how to get to the picnic. Now, even though we have more space than we did in my backyard, we'd still love you to RSVP. So if you can, let me know at katiegrinham@live.ca that you're coming. That would be awesome. Just so we have enough space set out. We will be doing social distancing. We'll have hand washing, face masks, whatever you need to be comfortable. But we had such a ball at the last picnic. Everybody was so joyous, and the band was in fine form. So don't miss it this time. It's going to be super fun. So that's coming up on the 16th. And then also, as we look at moving forward and what's next for our community, we've been wanting to get your input. As you know, we are community-based. Our leadership is members of the community. We want to know what you think and feel about things. So there is a survey that went out already. If we have your email, you will have received it. Check your inbox. That is a survey about how you feel about being in person services starting in the fall. So there's some very important questions there. That survey will also be sent out again on Monday. So if you missed it, you can wait till Monday, make sure that you get it. If by Monday night you do not have that survey, please contact communications@unityofcalgary.org. And Ariana will send you the survey. It's maybe 3 minutes long, but super important, because we want to know, what do you want? It's your community. How can we come together in a safe way? How can we look after each other and still be together? Is it possible, or do we need to wait a little longer? Who knows? So we would like your input on that. So very important, please do that. And as I say, the best way to stay connected to us is on the newsletter. Please go to the website and sign up. If you were getting the newsletter and then you weren't, sign up again. Weirdly enough, I just had that happen. All of a sudden I realized, well, I didn't get the survey. And so I went and signed up again on the newsletter. So sometimes quirky things happen, and if they do, then just fix it and join us. Okay, great. Well, let's enjoy a little music of Anthony Burbage and the band with Lowdown Stinkin' Blues. Oh, well, wait a minute. Now we think, yeah, just give the tech people there a moment. They're switching over. There we go. Lowdown Stinkin' Blues. How fun was that? I love that song. When Anthony first wrote that, it was so different than his other songs. I was so surprised. And I was thinking, you know what? This is good. This is good. And, like in that daily word reading, you see that Jesus had all his emotions too. It's not like we're supposed to be perfect. We're human beings and we have our various feelings and we need to accept them and move through them. And that's where we stay centered to ourselves. If we start blocking our feelings, then we get disconnected. So, it's important to embrace who we are and how we are and move through it. So, of course, one of the best ways we can do that is to get centered in meditation. So, Reverend Doug is our speaker this morning, and we're delighted that he's here. He always has something wonderful to say, and his topic is about releasing and letting go. And he's asked that we kind of set the stage first by doing the meditation. So we're going to listen to Anthony and the band sing I Surrender. And then I'll lead you into a bit of a healing meditation this morning. Let's kind of reach in and bring that energy in for a healing. And then we'll hear the meditation song again, I Surrender. So we'll sing that together. And then Reverend Doug will begin his talk. So it should be a nice flow where we can just begin to settle into that and really take this as a time for enrichment. So get comfortable, if you will, and we'll come. And how lovely is that? Knowing that as we surrender, we fall into the arms of love, to that gentle, peaceful feeling. So I invite you to sink more deeply into that. Just allowing all busy thoughts, anything that's moving through your system now. Imagine that you can let it slowly melt down your body, right down your legs and into the earth, surrendering it in to Mother Earth, letting it go. The worries, the uncertainty, the confusion, the doubt, the loneliness, whatever may be with you this morning. Just be with it and surrender it down into the earth. Letting it go, letting it be. And as this happens, it makes way for the new, clear, higher vibration energy to come in. So bring your awareness to above your head and imagine, if you will, a brilliant white light, knowing that this light is healing light. This light is the love and the light that created us, that fills us, that sustains us and every living thing. So use your own will, your own conscious mind to draw this loving, healing light in the top of your head. Bring it in the top of your head in your crown chakra and allow it to flow down the back of the head and right to the base of the skull. And let it pool there, relaxing all the muscles there. Just letting any tension there melt away. And let that healing energy sink deep into the back of your head, right into the central nervous system, allowing it to gently move over into parasympathetics. Feeling that soothing, gentle, loving feeling. Allow it to come down the neck, gently over the shoulders, and allow it to wrap around the shoulders like a cloak of comfort. Surrendering into the arms of love and compassion. Let this healing energy be wrapped around you. Feel it deeply, sinking into your shoulders, your back. Let it flow down your spine, into your lower back. Let there be a physical healing this morning. Let any place of your body that's struggling, that could use to be rejuvenated, to be enlivened, to be healed. What if it could be this morning? Use your mind. Open your mind to the greatest loving, healing power there is, the power of love. Draw the love and the light in. Let it flow in and down, all the way down the back, all the way down, washing into your pelvis, healing and balancing the pelvis, gently down into the legs. Let it flow into your knees, letting there be greater flexibility here, and ease and strength. And right down into your ankles and your feet, until you become a beautiful channel of light, a living expression of love, a living expression of God, so unique. There is no one like you in the world. Your presence and your expression is important. Breathe in, fill up, rejuvenate and revitalize yourself. Feel how good it is to know the truth of who you are. For each and every one of us are love and light. And know that you, just by being you, are a beautiful gift unto the world. Breathe it in. Know it to be so. As once more we sing, I surrender.
I surrender. I trust and I know that as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know that as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know that as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I fall into the arms of love. I fall into the arms of love.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this delightful Sunday. And my topic today is I Release and I Let Go. And I really love that opening song that Anthony and the Unity Band did with Ricky Byers and Beckwith from the Agape Church wrote, I Release and I Let Go. In particular, I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, it's only up to God. So I wanted to really just expand upon that. The theme, of course, is acceptance, and the affirmation is I release resistance and experience acceptance. So what I'd like to do is just really present three major ideas here for you to get your mind wrapped around to see whether you are on this path of moving forward and the willingness to release and let go and accept yourself. And by doing that, we move forward for great things. So, what does all that mean and how do we go about it? Well, the first idea that I want to give to you is the predominant thinking, and this is a self examination one can do on a daily basis, but the predominant thinking here is either self acceptance or self rejection. We are either in one mode or the other all the time. Yeah, major, easy to see, sometimes very subtle and not so easy to see. So, self acceptance is really the willing to release and let go. Let go, and we're going to talk more about that, but just the willingness to release and let go. And for example, if you're ever looking for a solution and it just isn't there, the more you ponder and puzzle it and music, the more confusing and things get. So what we need to do is we need to let it go, and whatever it is that we're looking for will come. And that's more of a self-acceptance. I remember back in the days when I was working as a corporate controller and a CFO of this corporation, cranking out numbers. And one of the things that all accountants like to do is they like to balance, and all of them experiencing not balance at a period of time. And so the more one looks for a problem sometimes, the harder it is to find, and harder to find a solution. So what we got to do sometimes is we just got to put it there, and we got to let it go. I remember going home many times with an issue and sleeping on it. Next day, walk right in and boom, boom, boom. Much like if you're ever done a jigsaw puzzle, it's the same thing. You can work on it, and all of a sudden you get frustrated, nothing happens. Then you can walk away and come back 2 hours later and go bing, 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 just like that. Okay? And that's part of what the problem that we have. So we got to be willing to release and let go. And that is self-acceptance. And it also indicates trust. And what that means is that we're trusting that the spirit within us will give us what it is we need to know and need to do. And by the way, you don't even have to know about this, and it works. Because I didn't know much about this at all when I was cranking numbers, but I knew that worked. So I didn't understand the principle, I didn't understand the concept, but I knew that by working on things and then leaving it and then coming back, it's much more productive. And it just doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a jigsaw puzzle or cranking up numbers or whatever it is, it just works that way. Now, if you're not willing to release and let go and move forward, then that's self-rejection. And so all of our activities that we do are either balanced with self-acceptance and self-rejection. And you could really get into doing that and mining at and looking at the depths of that. So just remember that one has the power of self-acceptance or self-rejection. And all of that takes place in the hallowed wonders of our mind. It's up to us. The second idea I want to really introduce and talk quite a bit about is I surrender. And when one gets involved in the 12-step programs, masterminding, any of that kind of stuff, one of the major steps is to surrender. I surrender and I let go. That doesn't mean you're letting go of whatever it is. That just means at the human level, you're willing to park it and draw upon the inner spiritual resources. And that is one of the key things that we want to work towards in our life, is allowing the spirit to guide us. Pema Chodron said, nothing ever goes away until it teaches us what we need to know. So a lot of those things that we got in our life that we may be willing to let go of, but they keep coming back and we find it difficult, is because there's something that we need to know and learn about that. And it doesn't matter whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. If it just keeps coming back, there's something to learn about that. And of course, people say they don't have a problem with good things coming back, but however, good things drag you back into the past just as much as bad things do. So I surrender. And when we're looking at that, there's really two aspects of it. One is letting go of attachments. Okay. And by the way, if you can master this, then I'm going to tell you that the one thing you're going to have to accept is a deeper sense of peace in your life. Not around you, but peace inside of you. And if you have the peace inside of you, you can take it into the cauldron of what's going on around you, and you can find your way to experience joy and creativity. I know there's a lot of restrictions placed on us because of COVID, and more so for quote, older people because they're the ones that are susceptible and dying. So what do you do? Yes, I've been isolating quite extensively. However, I've been doing lots of gardening and lots of working in the art, and I've spent 25 days in 25 different places in the Canadian Rockies. I mean, does it get any better than that? So I'm actually finding a lot of joy in my life by surrendering my attachment to the way my life was before. And by the way, folks, I think regardless of how this whole thing works out, that's one of the most important things that we can do is let go of the way it was before, because there is a new norm coming, and we can either be in resistance to it or we can be acceptance to the wave and work with it. And when we work with it, we roll with it, and then we can experience and garner goodness within ourselves. So let's talk a little bit more about that. What type of attachments do we need to work at letting go of? People. People that move out of your life, that you love and you care about, and they move somewhere else, or you don't see them as much. But we have to let people go. And I always say that one way or another. Dr. Tom, one of my teachers and mentors, once said that some people bless you by coming and others bless you by going. Let everybody that comes to you bless you, and let everybody that leaves bless you, one way or another. All depends. There's a lot of different ways to take that. And then you got to release your attachment to things, because things are simply that. They are things. They are not who and what we are. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with having a lot of assets. The only thing that's going to cause you any challenge with that is, one, you got to manage your assets, take care of them. Or two, you got to make sure that your assets don't own you. That's the greatest problem. And of course, that takes us into self-rejection, because we allow ourselves to be controlled by outer situations and circumstances in everything that we do. The other thing to release attachment to is opinions. Oh, yes, we all have opinions. And you know what? I always tell people that you're entitled to your opinion and I'm entitled to mine. You live with yours, I live with mine. I don't have to agree. And I refuse to enter into an argument with anybody, because why do I want to convince somebody that they're wrong and I'm right? I don't really care. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. Now, we could have a debate and a discussion on the pros and cons about something, but that's fine, but not a right or wrong. So you got to really release attachments to your opinions. And you might say, I don't have that many opinions. Yes, you do. Your whole life's governed by your opinion. Just make sure it's your opinion and not somebody else's, or not one that you're subconsciously carrying forward from your childhood that's working on you and through you that you don't even know. So you got people, things, opinions, and negative self-defeating thinking beliefs. So mind yourself and see what you believe about yourself, and know that if it isn't wonderful and if it isn't good, then it's a lie. Everything that you are is fine. Oh, you might say, well, you don't know what I've done. No, I don't. You don't know what I've done. But believe me, I cannot allow what has happened to govern what I am going to do and what I'm trying to create for myself. Yes, we've all made mistakes. Yes, they've all been errors. Yes, some of us, maybe one or two, have done despicable things. Well, you can't do anything about that. What's done is done. All one can do is accept things and move forward, and to quit browbeating self, which takes me into the last point of the letting go of attachments, and that's self-condemnation. Yeah. All you got to do to get a good make on that is just step out of the shower and look at yourself in the full length mirror and see how you feel right away and see what you say. So we got to get rid of condemning ourselves, because that is the greatest form of self-rejection that you're ever going to get. It should be number one on the top list, that we are a beautiful expression of the divine, expressing it uniquely in our own way. And because we are immersed in the human experience, at times we make judgments or we sin, which means missing the mark or missing the target. We all do that. And no matter how smart you get, you still do it. It's just that with work, you can minimize the amount of self-condemnation and criticism and negativity and maximize the good part. And it's a practice, it's a tool, it's something that we got to be aware of and we got to work with. Okay, so the next one here, I said, let go of past attachments, and there's the 5: people, things, opinions, negative beliefs about self, and self-condemnation. By the way, you work at that, that's called self-acceptance. You might not like the way you are. However, when you can accept the way you are, then you can change, because you can't start anywhere other than where you're at. So we move into the second part of surrender. And basically, that's let God do it. That is the idea of surrender, of the acknowledgement and the recognition that there is a spiritual presence within us that can guide us, lead us, and direct us to fulfillment and whatever it is that we need to know and do. It's there. So we just need to allow that to happen. So one of the things that we do is we want to cultivate this spiritual acceptance and work with it. One of the things that's key here, which Emerson said, get our bloated nothingness out of the way. So that's the challenge. In the pure human experience or physical, we call it ego. And we want to move over to allowing our life to be directed by the spiritual. And so we've got to cultivate that. And part of cultivating that is not only to be aware of it and to meditate, but it's learning to accept it and listen. And listen doesn't necessarily mean sound, it could be a voice, but listen to how the world around you and the people in it are speaking to you. Okay? It's very important to tune into that, because the world around you will let you know exactly what it is that you need to know. The Spirit will always give us signs and always will guide us. Jesus, the last thing that Jesus said on the cross in Luke chapter 23, verse 46, is, Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit. That's the total act of surrender. So when we turn it over, then the last barrier between the physical and the mental is dissolved, and the way is open for God action to take place in us and through us. And the last thing that goes with that, cultivate it, be aware of it, and accept it. Hey, when you get those messages, in particular, which ones we call intuitive, then you got to act on them. Mostly we table them and say, oh, well, we'll do it later. No, we got to act on it now. And the last thing here to realize is that the only constant in life is change. Dr. Holmes in the Science of Mind textbook said, creation is always beginning but never ending. Creation and experience are eternally going on, but any particular experience is measured by time, and it has a beginning and an end. So creation is eternal, but experiences have beginnings and ends. And that there is no stagnation in spirit, nor should there be any other in our idea of spirituality. To be spiritual is to be creative. The spirit is alive, conscious, aware, and active within us. So we have to accept that and quit trying to maintain the status quo. For example, a goal, once you've achieved it, is counterproductive because it becomes your past. And we're not meant to stay in our past. Yes, we can enjoy it and be grateful for it, but don't rest our laurels on it because we move forward. And to realize it's never a matter of whether we're going to change or not personally or individually. It's a matter of what we're going to change into. And I can't tell you what you're going to change into or what I'm. Well, sorry about that. Something happened and they shut down. As I was saying, it doesn't matter whether you work with it or not, you are going to change. So it's a matter of what am I going to change into? And nobody can tell you that and guarantee you that. However, we can guarantee that you are going to change into something. And if you work with these spiritual ideas, what you create and what you change into is immensely better than where you started and what you were before. So the other thing to realize, the last idea with this, is that if you hang on too long and try to hang on to all of those things, then what happens is we get stuck. If you're stuck, a good way to start is learning to let go. I call it being spiritually constipated. And we need to give ourselves a fix. And that is getting back to being connected with the Spirit and being willing to let go and let God. So I know for you, as I know for myself, that we are whole, perfect, and complete at all times and all ways, and that the divine presence of good and God in us, through us, and by means of us guides us, leads us, and directs us to peace, prosperity, fulfillment, and happiness. It is ours now. We accept it. We give thanks for it. We know it is so, and so it is. And thank you for being here today.
From my consciousness to see the world through the eyes of my soul and let go of all that holds me back. If I want my life to grow, I gotta stand up to the fears inside me, the thoughts of disbelief, and hold on to the memories of how I felt when I felt free. And I changed my thoughts, I know it's gonna change my life. I let go of my hope.
Yes, when we change our thoughts, it's going to change our lives. Isn't that exciting? I know it sounds so simple, but sometimes when I'm stuck and I think, is something going to change? It's just important to remember that, right? Just stay with it, keep holding it, hold the vision, hold the meaning behind whatever it is that you want to manifest, and it will begin to come forward. Well, thank you, Reverend Doug. As always, I appreciate the practicality of what you share. And, how do we do acceptance? We know that. I mean, that's a long-standing spiritual principle to accept things. But the question is, how do you do it? And that's what I find very helpful about your talks, is there's always a how-to side to it. So thank you. Appreciate it. And so, being together matters. And we share things that we hope inspire you and move forward. And coming into the fall, we hope to shift up this presentation, whether it's going to be online or in person or a bit of both. So, we're looking to see, how can we be with each other, and how can we bring a message here to unity that makes a difference. And so if you have some ideas about our Sunday service that you would like to share with us, please send them to me. We will be looking at that as spiritual leadership in the board on Wednesday and taking your information from the survey. But we're also going to be kind of rebirthing and shifting our presentation for the fall of the Sunday service. So send it along, and we would love to have your ideas. So now let's enter into the time when things balance out, when we give back, when we take a little bit of time to share our treasure, the things that we want to empower this ministry. And of course, money is part of what makes it work. It's just a reality of our world. And so we're very thankful for your love offering, knowing that, it's part of what sustains us. And we is the collective we. There is no us and them. We're just us. That's all there is. So as a community, we decided we wanted to keep going. We wanted to be online, and we are, and it's wonderful. And you're keeping it going. So thank you. Please know who you are, and what you share and give makes a difference. Now, whether you're doing it online at donate@unityofcalgary.org, or you're sending it by check, or however it is, just know it is working. It's working. Thank you so much. And, we're bringing a message that matters, and we hope that it reaches more and more people as time goes on. So let's repeat our abundance affirmation, shall we? So I like to put my hand to my heart when I say this, but whatever feels comfortable for you. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. That's certainly my experience, and I hope that it is yours as well as you open to it more fully. And let's enjoy, our song that always brings that forth. Give with an open heart. Lovely. And let's now do our blessing for the children as well. We love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are. Wouldn't that be great if we could really do that for ourselves? As Doug said, that self-acceptance. What if every morning, maybe we should do that as a challenge. Maybe every morning we should get up and look in the mirror and say, I love you, I bless you, and I appreciate you just the way you are. I kind of like the sound of that. Maybe that'll be our challenge coming up in the fall. We'll do something fun like that and see how many people can do it in how many days in a row. Doesn't that sound fun? It's just popping in. Let's try it. Well, now let's take a moment to kind of think about anyone in particular that we'd like to pray for, where you'd like to bring your energy, focused energy in. So I want you to think about that for a moment. It could be our current situation. It could be people that you're close to, or it could just be the people that are struggling with COVID as an illness, and then all their family and friends around them. Imagine what that is like for them to have someone sick, and then you're trying to be with them and you can't be with them. You know, compassion. That is our theme this morning from the Daily Word. And I think that this is the kind of compassion that would make a huge difference, to just see all those people in light. Let's just take a moment to see them surrounded in the love and the light that we know is there, that we know created us. Seeing them gaining strength, feeling stronger, feeling clearer, more connected to themselves and to each other than ever before. We know this to be so. We hold it for them, and so it is. Please remember also that you can connect with Worldwide Unity prayer line. And that prayer line, as that's coming up on the screen here, is 1-800-NOW-PRAY. It's something that if you haven't experienced it, you don't have to be really struggling. It's a wonderful experience. And just to connect with that line, and or anybody that you know, if you meet somebody on the street and you know that they're struggling, and you could just tell them about the line. I mean, they may or may not use it. And, it's not about you or them. It's just letting them have the information so they can make the choice. You can also go on our website and fill in a prayer request. Our prayer team is still holding you all and would be delighted to do that. And it does go down to Worldwide Unity, Silent Unity. So all the different ways that you can connect and continue to do that. So know that that is possible. So let's now affirm our prayer of protection. Together, the light that is God surrounds me. I am one with the light. The love that is God enfolds me. I am one with the love. The power that is God protects me. I am one with the power. The presence that is God watches over me. I am one with the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And so it is. All right, well, let's return to love as Anthony brings our last song forward. Enjoy. Yes, as we return to love. So this week, as you face all the different things that will come your way, what if you can look at it through the eyes of love, through that acceptance as we practice self-acceptance? Because I don't know about you, but when I'm more accepting of myself, I'm actually more available to other people. Because if I'm judging myself or angry at myself, I withdraw and I kind of hide away. So when I accept myself, is actually in service to others because I stay more present. Just my thoughts. So I hope that you will join us and Zoom, pop onto the website, get the link, or in your newsletter, and let's join our hearts and hands as we sing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth."